Hello there and welcome to this week's edition of Craze Critique. Now, the newest released cinematic film that I went to see this week, that's a lie, I didn't see it this week. I saw it a few weeks ago, but I have been holding this film back because of the time of year. The film is, of course, Krampus, which is a Christmas horror film. And no better time, of course, than right on Christmas to do a review of a Christmas themed film, even if it is a horror film in this aspect. So what is the film about? The film stars Adam Scott and Toni Collette as parents who are having their in-laws, are having their family round for Christmas. So Adam Scott's grandmother lives with them, and they are then inviting Toni Collette's sister and her brother-in-law to come stay with them with their three kids. So it sounds exactly like an good old Christmas little romp, maybe comedy, of course. But things start to go wrong, and it begins with the weather. It absolutely just pummeling down with snow, apparently cutting off their little estate from the rest of the town, and it suddenly dawned on them that things may be amiss at this time of year. So yeah. It's what's the best way to do it now? I'm gonna give you a little brief something of what I experienced right after coming out from the cinema. And it's been a fair old while since my reaction to leaving a cinema was that of, what the hell was that? I honestly had big trouble comprehending the film I'd seen. Was it good? Was it bad? Was the stuff in it that was cringeworthy intentional? Or is it exactly what the makers intended? There were some seriously dark... Now, of course, I described it as a horror film. But there's some seriously dark moments in this film. And I was like, where the hell is this film going? I still don't think I found the answers I posed at that very moment in time. So I don't think I've got answers for all the things I'm sort of bringing up, really, unfortunately. And my initial thought was, right, comedy horror is so hard to get right, and it seems the humour of it just seemed to have got lost in the story they were trying to tell. But then again, was their intention for it to be a comedy horror? Maybe I've just read that wrong. I actually honestly believe I think I have read it wrong. Because I saw the trailer and I thought this could be quite nicely, funnily horrific in a way. Because maybe it's because of the genre, the Christmas horror genre. And I thought, nah, it can't be taking itself too seriously because of the time of year. I honestly think I've just completely read the situation wrong. And that's my fault. That is completely my fault. Because I'm looking for humour in something maybe more that there isn't meant to be. So therefore I'm critiquing something that's in the wrong way. So yeah. Krampus, for those who don't know, is effectively like an anti-Santa. It is quite prominent in Europe as a bedtime story for children. And the reason why it sort of is linked in a bit in this film is because Adam Scott's mother is of German descent. So, nice little link in there regarding the culture aspects of the story. And I gotta say, you know what? First of all, there's ample visual treats on show, and there was also some downright weird stuff that my mind would not allow me to accept. But whatever was intended was certainly something you don't see it was certainly something you don't see every day, and so therefore it's certainly worthy of attention because like I say, you're not going to see this an awful lot out there, and I have a good old distinct feeling that this film will become quite a cult Christmas visual treat for watchers at Christmas. I myself probably will not, but only because of my initial reaction. And so therefore, like I say, some of the stuff in it reminded me very, very much of something like Gremlins. And that whole anarchic at Christmas sort of, and maybe that's why I was getting so partly the comedy sort of in my mind because of the Gremlins sort of familiarities with the film. But like I say, it's way too dark. It's even. See, I think I always thought Gremlins is quite a dark Christmas film, and it is. Oh, it certainly is, isn't it? But something like this is. I don't know. It was almost an extra notch on that level, if you will. So I got to just go into some of the writing, I suppose, and performances. It's been made by a director called Michael Dougherty, who has previously made a horror film. I think it was Trick or Treat, wasn't it? I've not seen it myself, so he's therefore done sort of like he's done a horror film before, and particularly in theme with a holiday. Quite apt, obviously, in that case of being at Halloween and being a horror film, but he's got some track record with this sort of type of film, and he's trying to continue to that sort of theme. Um, there's some interesting use of effects. I mean, actual creature effects, and I do appreciate. Oh, I always appreciate a creature. There's always a fine line though. In particular, there's a fine line between it becoming unintentionally funny. That fine line between scary and unintentionally funny is very, very fine, and it treads that line extremely treacherously, in my opinion. The performances are alright. Adam Scott is fine. Tony Collette's fine. David is it Koechner, of like Anchorman fame, is quite effective in the film, and it's almost this is an unreviewable film, and it's a terrible one for me to try and do. But there we go. This has been shocking, but it's made a decent return on its budget. It only cost about $15 million. It's made nearly 50, I believe. So it succeeded in finding an audience for it, and it's always a nice. It's certainly an anti-Christmas film for all those fans who don't want to see Sickly Sweet. So there, it's found its audience, hasn't it? I was one of those who was looking for that sort of film. Didn't quite get out of it what I wanted to, but never mind. Yeah, certainly for horror fans, it's worth a look. Certainly for people who want something anti-Christmas, it's worth a look. Whether you're actually expecting a fantastic horror film or a fantastic Christmas film, you're not going to get either, in my opinion, to be honest. It is full of trepidation, but it is entertaining to a point. And yeah, there we go. Krampus is my theatrically released film of the week. And I'm going to move on to a film that is so synonymous with Christmas. It would been insulting not to do this film as involved in my Christmas special. And the film is, of course, It's a Wonderful Life. The Frank Capra film from 1946. Why is it so synonymous with Christmas? Well, let's start with, first of all, when was it released? In 1946. It's released on the 20th of December. So it's a Christmas release film. Its themes of always wanting to help a fellow man are universal around this time of year regarding the holiday. There's those. Jimmy Stewart plays an absolutely everyman. He is everyman, the man who is always willing to help his fellow man, and he works for a bank and savings establishment which was run by his father until his untimely death. He has an idea of going off to be an architect and things like that and do studies like that, but unfortunately, because of his dad dying, he then has to take over the family business, and in doing so sort of sacrifices his own personal achievements in doing so. And it's all about his characters in this town, Bedford Falls, and what more? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm really losing it there. And it's all about his characters. It's a complete message film, isn't it? It's just an absolute beautiful message for this time of year, and the way the film goes, we all do. I want to spoil it? A lot of people will have already seen this film, but it leads you up a path of where you are following him throughout his journey from young love, from in effect some crushed dreams that he wanted to achieve, but he's not quite achieving. But he finds new ways of fulfilling his joy, and yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm really losing my thread here. I really do apologise. And James Stewart is just fabulous in this role, and the reason why I think why is it sustained for so long? Because I watched this film, I think it was 2 years ago for the first time. Upon hearing obviously all the sorts of all the talk of, oh, this is one of the greatest Christmas films ever made I must say from people who watched it, from people who are critics, from shows saying this is one of the best. So I went into it very much like in the mindset of, go on then, show me what you can do, and that sort of attitude usually results in disappointment for me, because I'm very like, go on, show me how good you are. And it's very rare, particularly for a film of this sort of age and from this long ago. I'm always an advocate of raising films from the past and talking them up, but this is one that is just a timely, is an absolute classic, because it affects you in a way you never expect. And I watched it again today, so it's very, very fresh in my psyche, in my emotions, and I watched it I enjoyed it again very, very, very much. And just when I thought, yeah, it's not going to affect me again, he did it. And those final couple of scenes, you know if you've seen it, my word, did it affect me, and I just absolutely bawled out. I bawled my eyes out, honestly. I didn't expect me to, because I did not cry the first time I saw it. I don't know, maybe it's one of those films that the more you watch it, the more it affects you, and therefore that's why it's got such a reputation that it has. Maybe that's the reason. It's an absolute grower of a film. It is fabulous. The like I said, the themes of it, the performances, the way the story is told, because this is not a short story. This is a film built on Jimmy Stewart's character and his relationships with people in the town and his family and friends, and it just shows that there is an appetite for a nice film. It is just a truly wonderful, nice film with some quite, towards the end, some quite hard themes going on regarding his character. So it is testing in that sort of aspect, but it is just an absolute fabulous watch. And this time of year, you'll be watching it. I've watched it. Everybody who has not seen it should be watching it. It is just truly, truly wonderful cinema. And it is an all-time, never mind American classic, an all-time cinema classic, because of those ideas, themes, and qualities that the film portrays. So, yeah, there we go. It's a Wonderful Life, Frank Capra's 1946 Jimmy Stewart masterpiece. There's fabulous, like I say, there's fabulous characters in this film, played by Donna Reed, who is a love interest of Jon Stewart, and Lionel Barrymore, who's like this tough old money making. I don't know, he's a banker or anything like that, but he's such a vibrant character. You feel his nastiness, and all the other people in the town, because they're introduced as friends of George Bailey, and you can't help but like them because he likes them, and so on and so forth. So there we go. Excuse me. So there we go. It's a Wonderful Life, an absolute classic of the time, like I've said, and it will forever remain that. I do thank you very much for watching. If you have, I do hope you have enjoyed my Christmas special with It's a Wonderful Life as my classic film and Krampus as my theatrically released film of the week. I do hope you subscribe to me if you did enjoy it. I will be doing a best films of the year in the next week or so, so I do hope you stick around to listen to that with me as well and view it. And I do hope to see and speak to you again. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and I do hope to see and speak to you again very soon. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.